Ladies and gentlemen,
Did he touch you at all?
it's great to be here. Somebody call Steely Dan because it's Barely Touched Him episode, 19. Boys, how are we?
Good.
Yes?
Very good.
You good?
Very good.
Joel, how are you?
Oh, good.
He's good
It's all
five
good.
times. I am joined by, as you can hear, my two loyal compadres, Corey Daffin and Joel Brinnick. I am Ben Reed. Barely Touched Him is 19 episodes in, boys.
It is almost
Can
a
you
big
believe
2-0.
it? Almost,
can't,
we're
yeah.
20 years old next week. Weeks old. Weeks
That's
old.
older than me.
That is older than you. How old are you, Joel?
24.
It's quick maths. Just a little famous numbers. Famous number 19s, because I like to tie this in when I can remember to do it. Famous guys to wear the number 19 in AFL. Michael O'Loughlin for the
Yes.
Sydney Swans.
Yep.
Was Matthew Pavlich not 19?
No, he was
29.
29. He was 29.
one off.
Jason Dunstall,
good
19
one.
for the Hawks. Jack Gunston, Eddie Betts, and Nick Davis for the Pies when he was playing at the Pies.
Loved Nick
Good
Davis.
players.
So it's been a big week in footy, a huge week. We usually kick off with some footy news if we've got it. And I've got a headline to kick things off that I saw pop up as reported by John Ralph, whatever publication he works for, but he
Herald
goat.
Sun?
The
Herald
absolute
Sun,
goat.
yes, Herald Sun. Look, he's usually quick to break a story, John Ralph. He can. I think we've got reason to believe this is true.
Smug face.
Yes, a smug face. I think it's mandatory to have a smug face
You
to
don't
be an
like
AFL
people's
journalist.
faces, do you?
Not many.
No.
Yeah, if they're smug, he doesn't like them.
I don't like
If they're
smugness.
wholesome, he's a big
Yeah.
fan. But a mid-season trade period has apparently been given the tick.
Locked in.
For 2024 in the AFL.
Yep.
What do we reckon about that?
Oh, well, I suppose it was inevitable, really.
I was thinking they were going to wait a long time for this or drag their feet on it.
I'm a
think
big fan.
The
Me
sentiment's
too.
been shifting so fast the past couple of years towards the pro column.
Yep.
Whether or not it works out as intended, well, we'll see.
Well, I think there's one big major factor we're not factoring in.
Yes.
Trade radio for an extra
Oh,
week of the year.
mid-season trade
Yep.
radio. Oh,
SEN.
my goodness.
The other part of this, I'm not sure if it was in the same story or if it was a separate story altogether, but they're also edging closer to players being traded without their consent,
Okay, this is something
which is big in
I'm
American
50-50
sports.
on it.
I don't
That's
love
a
it.
little bit further away, I think.
I think it's very different for AFL compared to American sports. Because American sport athletes are getting paid a shit ton more money on average. Even the lower tier guys
Yeah, the
are on
worst
millions.
people on the list are on $1 million
are
bucks,
on millions of
at
dollars.
least.
So a move, even though, a mid-tier / lower tier AFL player is still living comfortably, let's say, it's still a huge move for them to make if they're traded from Victoria to Perth.
Yeah.
And they're only on they're not in the
You're gonna-
higher tier of the list.
You're going to have a JHF scenario, but
Yeah.
times 10
Yeah.
every year where people are just playing like shit and not committed because they don't want to be there.
Yep, that's true. At the end of the day, I'm pro player more than anything else. Like
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, I'm sure the players' union will be against it. I'm not sure if they are.
Well,
but
if
I would
they are
assume that
against it, they're putting things in place to help the players. There'll be
Yeah.
parameters around it where, bloke from Victoria with a family can't just be shipped off the next day to Perth.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't heard from the players' union much recently.
No.
like they
Yeah,
haven't
I
been.
have.
They haven't been. They've been directly in contact with you, Joel. They've been. You've heard from them
certainly did
directly.
sound
What did
that
they
way.
say?
They've been doing the negotiations with the next, what's it called? Like agreement for the players and the things with
The
Collective bargaining.
collective bargaining
That's
agreement.
the
The pay
word I'm
shit.
looking-
The
yeah,
pay
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a fair
Like,
bit going on with
all
that.
I've heard from them in the past 6 months or so is surrounding CTE type
Yeah.
post game
Well, that
stuff.
too, yeah.
which
Yeah.
they always pop their heads up for, rightly so.
I feel like they've been very absent from the dangerous tackle debate.
Hmm.
Like there's never been an official statement from
Yeah,
the players'
They don't
union
wanna give
regarding
one.
this. I understand why they don't want to give one, but
if
it's just
they're
like,
involved in lawsuits involving CTE and stuff, they'd be best off not saying anything.
yeah, it's look. I'm just saying. I feel like I'm not saying they're not doing anything. Of course, they're doing things, But
It's Danger. Where are you, Danger?
Danger, he's
Speak
the
up.
head of the union,
Speak
isn't
up,
he?
mate.
Like Danger,
He's been in
come on.
hospital. We've seen that. He's been
Get a
injured.
bit of, get a bit of class consciousness about you, Patrick Dangerfield.
So in other news, we
Other
have some-
news?
Oh, so grand final entertainment.
Oh, did we book it? No, Kylie Minogue.
No, they wanted Kylie.
They wanted Kylie,
said no.
and Kylie knocked them back. Now, Kylie, I love her. I've seen
Yeah.
her live. Huge
Doesn't
fan. Huge fan.
Doesn't fit.
Oh, but I don't think anything
does
doesn't
fit.
fit. Like if you're a big pop star, if you are popular, you fit. That's
Yeah.
that's the bill
Well,
here.
no, if you're not
they
Robbie
got
Williams,
fucking
you don't
Tones
fit.
and I one year. They're
That
not
was
like
bad.
Kylie Minogue
Yeah, that was
shits
bad.
all over Tones and I.
Very
Sorry, I'm sure she's a lovely lady, Tones and I, but
I believe it's them.
she's a lovely non-binary person.
Correct.
But it wasn't a good gig that they put on, and I blame the backup dancers more than I blame Tones and I. It was just a shit
Oh, yeah, I
show.
remember those dances.
Awful, really awful. They were trying to be high concept, avant-garde with the whole thing. Not good.
Because she was playing the drums while singing, right?
Yeah,
you're
and she
thinking-
was fine. Like she didn't sound.
Oh no, I'm thinking of G Flip.
That was at the grand
Oh,
final.
I forget
Yeah.
she exists.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is G Flip's deal?
I don't know.
She's a drummer and a singer
Hey,
or something.
they are a drummer.
They are a
She's
drummer
very,
and a
very,
singer.
very alternative, very
Yeah.
out there. But then the music she plays is very mainstream, and she was in
Yeah.
a Toyota commercial. So
Yeah, okay. Well, oh, what a feeling. You've got to take the cash. I think they're.
And we love Toyota. And if they would like to sponsor
did you
us-
have a further bit on this entertainment thing, or was it just that Kylie Minogue knocked him back?
No, so
Joel?
Cleary was apparently Mitch Cleary.
I like Mitch Cleary.
I do.
He's-
Channel
yeah.
7
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
If you'd
Journo,
like to sponsor us.
usually bang on.
very smug face.
Yes,
came out-
They all do, Corey. They all do.
He was intending on releasing something today from it, as in having a definitive thing, and all he could come up with was Kylie is not interested.
That's amazing. I wonder what she got offered. I
Yeah.
wonder how big.
Well, didn't they give Robbie like $5 million? Or something?
Robbie
deserved 10.
Robbie was in the seven figures, and he
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah, he killed
like
it.
He deserved his
absolutely
money,
killed
yeah.
it. He was amazing. I would think that you get Robbie and Kylie together, and then they do
Yeah.
jump.
I think you have
on
to. I'm all for
board.
Robbie coming back, but I think you have to have a year off Robbie.
No, you
can't,
don't.
You can't do Robbie 2 years in a row.
It's Robbie or Kylie, or it's Hunters and Collectors. Pick one. I will not be swayed
think you
from
can
either
get
of
both.
these things.
Hunters
You
and
can
Hunters
probably
and
get both.
Collectors aren't expensive.
They only need 250k. they don't need the mill. Any other footy news? I've now got another coach on the sacrificial media. We need to kill something table at Stewie Jew.
Yes, the
everyone's
fridge.
talking about.
Caro's gone for the jugular.
Caro fucking hates Julie.
Caro has whipped out the poison arrow on
call it
Footy
a
Classified, and it's
fucking nuked
literally
him.
the exact same vibes as Michael Voss from 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
And it's almost as if we've forgotten how vitriolic and violent the media were being towards.
Yeah, because he won
Michael
2
Voss.
games.
Because he wins 2 games,
Hmm.
we've all forgotten about it. Now we need a new. It's like the South Park episode where they need to kill Britney Spears.
They were never going to win this game, man.
They weren't going to win.
They
this game.
weren't going to win
No.
it. Like I was watching a few of the
This is Suns
shows
versus Collingwood.
Some of them-
Gold Coast Suns
Some of the
versus
shows
Collingwood.
are good. Some of them are bad. Namely, First Crack being good.
First Crack is
And
fantastic.
they were talking as
Sister
if
show of the podcast. Shout out David King.
They
handsome.
were speaking as if that was a must-win or a winnable game, and the fact that they didn't win was
No, it was a
awful.
game where
How
they
are
should have put up an
How
effort.
were they ever
Yeah.
going to beat Collingwood?
It was
never going to happen.
Look, I expected it to be closer, but then once I saw what was happening in the game, I went, yeah, this was always going to happen. I actually missed it because I was playing football
Yeah, the
this weekend at the time.
Coolbinya
The Coolbinya Falcons.
Falcons.
We had a win.
Yes.
That's footy news.
And you had I saw that you had the Indigenous journeys.
We
which
had
looked
our
quite slick.
first ever Indigenous. It was NAIDOC week, so it was Indigenous round across the Perth Footy League. And I understand it was a lot of clubs' first Indigenous jumper that they'd ever had. And it was designed by a couple of players that we had at the club as well. And
Looked very nice.
It
red,
was
red
great.
background.
It was great. I
Kind of
think
a
it's
similar design vibe to the Eagles one. If you can
very,
imagine,
very similar, like palette.
if
Yeah.
the listener could imagine the Eagles one, but
Yep.
with a red background instead.
But it was awesome. We had an away day at Melville, and we're both Coolbinya. We're in the E2. This is the thirds league of our clubs. Both sort of we're not challenger for finals. It was really just a bottom of the table sort of clash.
you had a run.
But we had a fucking crack.
Good.
It was a low scoring game.
Did you win?
We did win.
Hey,
We did win. We got the W.
That's our boy.
And we were down. It was a low-scoring game. Perfect day for footy on a short oval as well. We love a short oval in amateurs. Don't have to run as far.
Love it.
And at half-time, we had not scored a goal yet. We were 0-5, and they were up by like 3 goals or something.
Not great.
Not great, but we clawed our way back and we kicked like 3 or 4 goals in the last quarter to roll them over. It was awesome.
Very well
It was
done.
amazing.
I've got one.
Love to see it.
Buddy's last MCG game, Thursday night.
Yeah, who are they playing?
Good question.
It is
Don't know.
I forget.
Richmond.
Richmond.
Yeah. So
Sydney
presumably
at
the
G.
last time he plays at the G.
Yeah, well, he's not going to play next year, you'd imagine.
No. And
that-
we spoke about it about a month ago, why they didn't announce his retirement at the start of the year.
yeah.
Because he doesn't like the fanfare. It was never going to happen.
Yeah, but it'll make the club money. So
yeah.
what he
It would
thinks
make the
can
club
go
money.
right out the window if it
Yeah.
makes money.
That's true. That's true. Well, they do that in the NBA and the NFL
Yeah,
a lot.
Pax places out.
Yeah, packed places out. Like I remember Kobe's last season,
Yeah.
where everyone was packing out on the away day. It was his last because there's so many stadiums in the NBA. It's like it's his last game at that, fucking
Yeah, but they know
whatever.
it's his,
Yeah,
no one has to like sit there and think, oh, no, he might go around again. They know it's his last game.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
I
But
still
when you
think
get
if
the
it's
headlines
advertised,
about it,
yeah.
if it's advertised, I think it would
You'd sell more.
work to sell more tickets.
Especially for Sydney, who don't have the strongest turnout traditionally.
Yeah, like they
do
don't have
in
a
Melbourne.
bad turnout. Yeah. Anyway,
right.
any other news?
No, I reckon we can put it all into games.
I got one more. Bailey Fritsch out for 7 to 8 weeks, broken foot.
And same with Fife,
Yes.
which
so
is heartbreaking.
that is heartbreaking.
Well, it was stupid by Freo to sign him for 2 years.
No, that's good.
No.
Good.
He
Good on
sells
him.
tickets, Joel. He sells tickets.
Yeah, when he's playing.
Yes, but he sells the
He'll
Why,
have
tickets.
a
why would
role.
you sign a guy? Okay, he was a
When
champion.
you have Nat Fife on your
No,
list,
fuck off.
he's going to
keep
do
him.
the
Sign a
Hungry
guy-
Jacks ads. He's going to go to the charity appearances.
Yeah.
And he's
He'll
going
kill
to.
it.
He's Nat Fife. You have to sign him. You have to sign him.
And he'll
He's
still be
not
training.
playing.
He'll still be at training,
Yeah.
mentoring blokes and whatnot.
Yeah, so-
They're going to cross to him on Channel 7 with the weather. That's worth the money.
All right, well,
That's-
I'm going
that's
to
worth the
games
money. Yeah,
now.
go to the games, Joel. Results from the past round, which was round 16, if I remember
Round of 16.
correctly.
Yes, it was round 16. So starting off on the Thursday night, Brisbane absolutely mounting Richmond.
Yeah, they did mount in and go in dry,
81
didn't
points.
they?
It was lucky the Ashes were on because I turned it off just after half-time.
I was at dinner with Nadia's parents and having a lovely Italian feed, and I was thinking
Good.
maybe I could have the KO on in the background here. Looked at the score.
Yeah.
I went probably not. I'm not going to
Yeah.
watch this game.
Not worth the embarrassment from the parents of what's he doing with his phone leaning
No,
up
they're
against
very
the wine
supportive
glass?
of my football
Oh, good,
content
good,
creating
good.
career. They're very
In that
lovely.
case, bring
yes.
the iPad out.
Yeah, it was a schmozzle.
Yeah,
It was a schmozzle.
I
of
ended
a
up
game.
turning it off to watch the cricket because not just because of the scoreline, it just wasn't that.
It wasn't
that
entertaining.
great.
It wasn't entertaining.
It was what you expected from Brisbane in terms of if they're going to
I
afford
can't
the
believe
team.
I tipped Richmond. What the fuck was I thinking? What the hell was I doing?
I think I might have tried slightly steered
did you
you.
gaslight me into tipping something? I can't believe it.
I may have
can't believe I've
steered you
been
into that
gaslit
one.
again. Yes.
Alrighty,
Next
so
game. Just next
Yeah.
game. Yeah, just it was terrible.
it was terrible. Friday night, I don't remember watching this one because
The
I wasn't.
Sydney and Geelong. So
Yeah.
you were a bit inebriated, weren't you,
I
Joel?
don't remember.
So tell us, walk us through
Group
your night
chat
before
menace.
we walk you through this draw. What were you doing? Where were you going? What do you remember about it?
No, I thought it was a good idea to drink reasonably heavily at my end of financial year function.
Yep. You do work in finance.
Yeah,
yes,
brand new company,
yeah.
been there for a month.
Yep.
Um,
And there was a function on, was there? Or
There's a certain point where I forgot what happened, and
saying you were getting on the beers, was it the whiskeys?
The
Was it
beers?
the don't remember. It's
there was
that much
4
of a...
hours I don't remember.
Oh goodness gracious me.
It
Do you
was
reckon you said
not great.
anything inappropriate to anybody?
Well, I actually called someone the next day, and they cleared up a fair few hours for me and said,
Oh,
"No,
good.
I was apparently delightful.
you were you were a delight.
reasonably pissed."
He was a lovely, handsome young man, and we enjoyed having him at the function. This draw, though, I'll tell you,
Law and Order special drinkers unit.
I was
previously
shitting myself. eh?
finance, Joel getting on the piss. It was a draw. Sydney and Geelong. This was not an attractive game to watch. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I actually missed it
kicked
as
6
well.
goals.
For the most part.
I did watch it, and I was heavily frustrated the entire time.
I remember seeing the scoreline at halftime and thinking, "What?
Yeah,
What?
Sydney.
What is going
to me,
on?"
this was Sydney's fuck up for not winning this game. It was absolutely theirs to win. And Geelong would, I think, consider themselves, like, all right, we're good to come away with the 2 points here.
I've got an interesting draw stat.
I might have the same draw stat. But my two boys on either team, they're my not official boys, but Lizard had a really good game.
Yes.
And Brian Myers had a really good game.
Oh, did
they
he?
were
That's good.
yes. They were both very productive in a non-productive game.
We do enjoy the stupidly named
And
Brian Myers.
is your crazy draw stat about the inaugural VFL teams?
Yes.
I've got the
Yeah,
same
you can
one.
shoot
so
it.
now that Sydney, formerly South Melbourne, inaugural VFL team have drawn with Geelong, now all 8 of the inaugural VFL teams have drawn with each other.
Been 46,073 days.
1897, it has not happened until now. We can close it off. The circle, it's not really a circle.
The circle of parity.
A rectangle of parity of draws. Very cool.
Love it.
Very, very cool. What was the next game, Joel?
Next game was Adelaide pumping North out at the Adelaide Oval.
I missed this one. I missed this
benefit
one.
to Friday night's antics. I could watch the footy all day in bed.
Yeah, were you hungover in bed having a bad time?
I didn't get out. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
But I could watch all the footy, so that was a
What
bonus.
did you think of this game? What did you think of Crom and the Roos?
It's what you expected.
Yeah.
Adelaide are an absolute powerhouse at home.
They are. It's becoming one of the tougher road trips
They
in footy,
just
isn't it?
did it. Like they just got it done. They went through the motions. Dawson's out there running amok. You've got the rest of the boys, Rankin, Fogarty, Walker. Their forward line's
Rankin
insane.
kicked 5, didn't he?
Yeah,
huge.
And Fogarty had
Unreal.
4.
Yeah, the big fog. Oh,
And then Walker kicks 3-3. So you look at that and just go, well,
Walker, in regards to accuracy, is one of
He's leading the Coleman.
he is on a tear at the minute. I think he's kicked like
This was a
40
bad-
goals, 8
this was a bad game for him, 3-3. But, generally,
comparatively, and that's what I think has brought him up to like maybe 10 behinds for the year, as opposed to 40 goals. It's
insane.
it's in rare form.
and
Interestingly,
they've got such a young team.
Yeah.
on Adelaide, Ben Keys has produced the poo shorts. So
Did
No,
he-
that was the week before.
was that the
Did
week
he
before?
follow? Oh,
Yeah.
you're
I'm a week
behind on
behind.
the
Only
physical
just saw
news,
it. He was on 7 News with the shorts.
Oh, no.
Which was well, it
Pooed.
might have been Sunrise or something.
That is
He
a
was
classic.
holding it and they're like, see? It's
That
grass.
is,
I didn't shit
I
myself.
don't buy it. I don't buy it. That is akin to Kevin Spacey getting allegations of sexual abuse against him, going, "But I'm gay. I can't have shit myself. It was mud." Next up, Joel. What was the next game? By the way, curse you, Matty Nix, for not playing Paddy Parnell. Next.
Sorry, did we skip over Geelong already?
No, we
Yes.
did it. Yeah. Did you
Okay.
miss?
You didn't talk about
What
it.
did you have, Corey?
Well-
What stat did you have
Tui equals Jim Stone's record
for Irish players?
for Irish
yes.
player, 264 games. I
Yeah,
thought that
very
was
well
worth
done.
Worth a mention.
Yeah, I rate Zach
He's
Tui.
gone about that pretty quickly, eh?
Yeah.
But it helps they're playing finals every year.
Whenever
but-
I think my favourite Zach Tui moment, obviously goal after the siren against the
Oh,
D's.
amazing.
That was
Yeah.
incredible.
I love his tattoo where no one can really figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it just looks like a
he's
splodge.
he's also got a thick Irish accent, but I can still understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
So
It is
that
nice,
is rare.
yeah.
That is very rare for an
I
Irishman.
think that with my knowledge of Irish people, I think the fact that we can understand him means he came from money.
Yeah,
Because the wealthier ones, you tend to be able
I
to
love the
somewhat
Irish
understand.
accent.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's hotter to me than
I
an Irish
want you
accent.
like the Irish ladies, do you, Joel?
Well, just the accent in general.
Yeah, okay. I once
It just
did a
makes me
summer
melt.
of being a brickies labourer for a couple of Irishmen, and I've never had a harder time understanding what people were saying in my life. I think these were proper working class Irish
Yeah.
blokes.
Not the wealthy
Literally,
kind.
may as well have been speaking Arabic.
Yeah, I've been
was-
assaulted a few times by that same accent.
Oh, I
Both-
thought you meant actually physically
Oh, yeah,
assaulted.
that's it.
I was like, yeah,
I
that's
meant,
it, Irishman.
metaphorically and literally been
Yes,
assaulted.
yes. Oh, fantastic. Next game, Joel.
Next game, the Doggies doing a number on Freo. 30 points in the end.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got their
had
number.
They had it until the last quarter.
They do
of
seem
Freo.
to have their number. The
It's always a
Dogs
good
over
game
Freo.
generally.
Yeah,
these
That
two.
last quarter was terrible for Freo.
Yeah, it
They
was.
just kicked away in the
They
end.
had
And
the top
Freo
four.
yet again, it's what could have been. Like they showed glimpses of being a really powerhouse team. Like their best footy,
do,
I
yeah.
think, stacks up against most.
Liam Henry.
Oh my God!
Where
Yeah,
the fuck has he
my
been?
proud cousin Henry of the Henry family. We absolutely love him.
Yeah, well, I
Is
think
he actually a cousin?
no,
we
he's
talked-
not, Joel. I am not an Indigenous person.
We
but
talked a little. We talked a little bit about Liam Henry last week and how because he had the 6 weeks out and then
Yep.
had a ripper game.
And he's
followed it up with
He's
this, which is
followed
good.
it up. And I have
Yeah.
picked him up off the bargain bin in our
Yeah, very
fantasy
good,
draft
very
league.
good.
I could
33
not
touches.
believe him
Yeah.
sitting there.
So
I could not believe
he took
it.
second or third in the top 4 ball winners, all of which were
He
Freo.
was second.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've managed to lose that, which is
It's-
and
I'm-
just disposals isn't everything. But if
He
you've
is
got
a
the top
genuine
4,
gun. He's such a quick, explosive player with that turn of foot over like that 10, 15 metres. When he
Yep.
explodes out of a contest, you're not catching him. You're not catching him, and he's exactly what Freo have been missing on a wing because their wingers have been
Pretty
typically
average,
a
yep.
bit slow. Like they've got Aish, who's been on the wing. I love Aish.
Well, did they not have
former
Hill on there?
Pies player.
They had Hill on there for a while.
They had Hill there for a while. They've had Aish there. These are guys who are good kicks of the footy, but not super quick like a modern offensive winger should be. And Hill, and Henry is that.
And,
He was awesome.
Just to touch on the Bulldogs, it was interesting to see the continuation of Aaron Norton not being the priority target.
Yeah, look
Jamara
at that.
played well.
Jamara has a blinder. His best game of the year.
They are kicking it solely to Jamara at this point.
And Rory Lobb is doing
Nothing.
nothing.
Absolutely
nothing.
Well, I think the problem with Freo as well is they had 2 really main goal kickers that were trying to shoulder load, and
Yeah.
that was Walter's kick 4, Amy's kicks 4.
Yep.
But who else is there standing up?
Yeah, that's where they need a big game out of Lockie Schultz as well.
Yeah.
They usually, like Schultz has been having a good season, but then you need your midfielders to come in and start kicking some goals as well. Like you want offense out of Sarong and Brayshaw.
Switkowski last year was taking a bit of that goal kicking midfielder
He was.
role.
And again,
Yeah.
I think Switkowski should be playing on a wing rather than half forward
Yes.
because, as we know,
He does have a little burst.
he is statistically one of the fastest players in the AFL. He is capable of reaching very, very high speeds. We're talking high 37 k's an hour sorts of
very,
speeds.
very quick turn
He
of
can
foot.
play on a wing.
the
and
short legs.
I think he and Henry on wings is what Freo should be doing.
Yep.
That's me. Next game, Joel. Let's keep churning
Next
through 'em.
game, so the bloodbath that could lose Stewie Dewey's job. So Collingwood's 78-point winners over the Suns.
I feel
At
bad.
a sold-out
I feel
Metricon.
bad for us doing this. But play the
look,
music, Corey.
You guys really put your foot off the pedal.
Yeah, it could have been much more.
It looks clinical.
Yeah.
Like razor sharp all the way around. You love
Half
to see it.
time was ugly. It
Are
was
we going
1
to
goal
win?
to 11.
Are we going to win the flag? I haven't
looks like
asked
it.
this. I haven't asked this.
Looks like it.
It feels. I'm refusing to let myself believe it because I've been hurt so many times before.
You've been hurt.
I know you've been hurt more through the Saints, Joel, but at least
But you're used
You
to it.
fucking won
you're
one.
used to being hurt. But also, you're hurt. You haven't made as many grand finals and lost them as Collingwood has.
Recently.
In our lifetime, you haven't.
Oh, in our lifetime, it's not even close.
We've made 3 in my lifetime.
We lost 2 to the Brisbane Lions three-peat.
Yep.
Okay,
We
yeah, I
have
forget
lost
you're
more
older.
prelims than the Saints.
Lost 2018.
We lost to Geelong in 2011. We lost to the Eagles in 2018.
You didn't have a draw. That hurts.
We were in the draw.
Yeah, we won that
were in
one.
it.
We won that
We were
one.
fucking in it.
We did have a draw.
What
we
I'm
just won.
saying is, like, no club I think has been so close yet so far from a dynasty than Collingwood. We
So,
had
in the game, Jeremy Howe,
Yep.
back.
amazing.
Good.
Did he wear his sleeve? I
He
can't
did
remember.
wear his sleeve.
He did.
He did wear his sleeve.
50% game time. And he's good. Very, very good. Very clean off.
Jamie
the
Elliott, clinical.
That goal.
Fantastic.
Goal of the year?
I
rate it.
It's top 5. It's got to be top
It's
5.
higher than that, I
Yeah,
think.
it's very good.
It's a fucking good goal
Yes.
for him to have the awareness to do that.
I would
Yep.
rather that than someone, bombing it from 60 or
I
whatever.
think
That
Ashcroft's
so
was
smart.
more impressive to me with the degree of difficulty on the actual kick. Yes, the IQ from Jamie Elliott in that play is like
Yeah.
incredible.
99.5% of the time, that player is letting that ball go
Absolutely,
through.
yes. But I feel like the Ashcroft goal was so mental and so like the
It was.
angle he was on.
That's the Bruce Lee kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
it
Jackie
was.
Chan in
Jackie
midair,
Chan,
but like
yep.
on an angle and the banana away, like facing away from
that-
the goal.
How's
that
it
one-
go, Corey?
That one was so good that the first time you see it, you have to play it again.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
couldn't
wait,
believe
what?
it. I
What happened?
couldn't
and then you
believe it.
see it in slow motion. What the fuck?
It was mental. It was mental.
Yeah.
But this Jamie Elliott goal was very good. Also, Johnny Noble, career high 30 disposals.
Love that.
He's
we
an
love, we
amazing
love the
get
knob.
off the mid-season draft.
This is
We
why
love the little knob.
This is why we love the knob. This is why the Collingwood team is arguably the best I have seen in my life because even
I would say so.
even the bottom 10 players, what you would call the bottom 10 players in the team,
The depth.
are capable of being the best on ground. Are capable of being like Johnny Noble is. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he is not a top 10 player in the team.
Okay, so your bottom 5 players on the ground then, just through fantasy alone.
Yeah,
Not counting the sub.
rattle them off, Joel. Let's
not
see
gonna
who it
count
is.
the sub.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Howe,
Yep.
Mason Cox,
Yep.
Bo McCreary,
Yep.
Murphy,
Yep.
and Mychek.
All capable of turning a game on their own head in their respective
I'd
positions.
say Murphy's probably the worst of those, and he's
But even
still
then,
quite
like
good.
Murphy is only the worst statistically because he's playing as
He's a key defender.
He's playing as a second tall to Darcy Moore, so he's taking more one-on-ones.
Yes.
But there have been times where Nathan Murphy has completely bossed it. Remember when Darcy Moore was injured last year, or I forget? I think it was last year for a stretch, and Nathan Murphy was our number one defender. He was smashing it. He was absolutely smashing it.
So,
and I
on the
just feel
depth-
blessed to be watching this team.
On that depth, we got to have a look at Frampton having a crack up forward briefly.
And he did
then
all right.
He did okay.
He did all
and
right.
then when they took Howe off, he went back in defence. But that just speaks to the depth of it.
Playing his role. Absolutely playing his role, and we love him for
And
it.
it'll be very interesting for the
But then we get
Pies.
to the Suns side of the equation, and if there was any game for us to drop this year, I wish it was this one.
Same.
I wish. Yes,
No,
I do.
I would-
no,
I
no,
would-
no.
I would-
I genuinely do.
I would have been genuinely
I
pleased.
take no pleasure in us fucking up the Suns and at home in their biggest crowd ever because this is the only time they've ever sold out Heritage Bank. They have never sold
Apparently,
out this
there was a
stadium.
bit of pandemonium where more tickets were sold than seats.
Well, that's the city of the Gold Coast in an uproar because there's nothing to do there apart from coke
They
and
stopped
strippers.
letting people in
They go,
at
oh my
one
God, we
point."
have sport. We have to go. Holy shit, Collingwood are in town. Actual football
They
team.
stopped letting people in and that legitimately had tickets. Then they started letting them in again. It was a bit of a furor.
Absolute
But
pandemonium.
it's going to be interesting for the Pies because, as you say, as we were talking about with the depth, it's going to get deeper next week with Sidebottom and DeGoey back in.
Who do you drop? Who do you drop?
Tough.
I don't know.
No.
I don't
know. The immediate shift around is take Nick Dacos out of the purely
Chuck him off
midfield role.
half back again, yeah.
So sling him back, DeGoey goes back in. So then who do you take out?
But
of
then
midfield?
midfield
you
this
would
week?
guess Markov, but I wouldn't drop Markov right now.
No,
he had a
he
blinder.
had a great
He
game.
had a blinder.
Yeah.
Arguably the best game of his career, and we were so happy when he got picked up by the Pies at the start of the season.
And I know this is playing the Suns rather, but we haven't got the full chance to see that Markov leg speed.
Yeah,
That
we did
open
this game.
leg speed.
Yeah.
And this game, you saw him streaking down the wing. It was
He
unbelievable.
is a fast mustache
Very,
boy.
very
He is
big.
very fast. Next game, Joel, we could talk about the Pies all day.
Next game. So I reckon Monty was a bit nervous about this one. So Port, after the siren, knocking off the
Game
Bombers.
of the
Dan
round.
Houston.
Game of the round, 100%.
I'd have to give it to the Eagles, but yes.
Oh, that too. Yes,
Yeah.
that we'll get to that. That was This was awesome, Essendon Port. And again, I feel for Essendon. I really do. They played
Now,
typical.
Before
They played an incredible game.
before
of footy.
we tear the game open, this is a fantastic Essington stat.
Yeah, give it to
and
me.
I don't know how all of the best stats in football all revolve around Essington being historically shit.
Yeah, go
and
on,
this is
yeah.
this is no different. It's been 100 years since the Bombers have won after the siren, and the last two after the siren winners have been against them.
Yeah, so it was Elliott
Jamie
and
Elliott
now,
and
and
Dan
now
Houston.
Houston. Wait, so
They have
God,
not won a game after the siren in 100 years.
it would have been pre-World War II since
Yes.
they've won a game after the
Yes.
siren. That is horrendous. That is absolutely horrendous.
Rosie with another absolute
Rosie
blinder.
was huge. I thought Aaliyah was really huge as well with some big efforts
He's
in
been
the
impressing me this year,
I
big
think
time.
he's arguably top 5 key back in the comp this
For the
year.
Bombers as well, there was a lot to look at.
Dude,
But
Langford had a really good game. Obviously, like Merritt, Mason Redmond
Jai
had a really good game.
Caldwell's best game for the club.
Caldwell, like Nick Martin goes from strength to strength. They are on the right track, Essendon. They are very
They
much
are.
on the right track.
They
We
definitely are.
love to give them shit.
Yes.
Because it's funny.
They are
But
amazingly mediocre.
I enjoyed watching this game
Yeah,
for
very
both
good.
sides.
And it's crazy seeing the Port week to week, just kicking so much from long range. They got 8 goals from 40 plus this week.
Yes, I see you are also a fellow first crack
Yes.
enjoyer. I saw
But
this stat
they've
as
been
well.
doing it all year. This is the thing. They're not afraid to a whole host of players, not just one or two guns. It's a whole host of players, especially off the half back line.
It's something that's lacking in the AFL at the moment over the
it's
past
wild.
10 years is long range set shot accuracy. And long range literally just means 40 plus, I think, is a good indicator.
Yeah.
How many guys do we have in the teams that we follow that are really good from
That
40
you're
plus?
confident.
That you're confident. If
Not
they get a
many.
mark from 45 out, he's going to kick this.
Not many.
That's not always been the case. Like
You
one,
go back to when Lockett was bombing
Exactly
them from 60
right.
and the goal, he made it look tiny.
there was a lot of
this
guys
is the
that
thing.
did. There was a lot of guys that made it look very easy.
I went down and watched my brother's team a few weeks ago, and it might have even been the first shot of the game was from outside 50, and it was this kind of barrel-looking fella. Just had a crack and got it. It's
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yes, well done,
Unbelievable.
son.
Love to see it.
And you watch a footy game, and a bloke will get a mark on the 50, and they're not even trying
They're not.
to...
Most players are not comfortable with that shot anymore, and it is a distinctive change, and maybe some of that has to do with what type of athlete.
Yeah, it's the game
footballers
plans.
are now.
The game plans have changed. It's more about moving it into their
But the
moving
confidence
into
is
that
the
area.
issue because they'll dart
Yes.
around, they'll be desperate to pass it off, and that's where they'll fuck it up.
Yeah, and it's also I think it is so much of it is mental, and
No, 100%.
and it's why
You've
I
only
think
got to look at Harry
that
Mackay.
when people absolutely when people say that Buddy's the last person that's ever going to kick 100 goals in a season, I don't believe that
No,
for
I
a
don't
second.
either.
No, I don't.
Someone is going to kick 100 goals
The
in a
game
season
changes so much that there'll be a new breed of athlete in
Yeah.
3 years that can do all this stuff and kick from fucking
again.
60.
Or a new breed of coach that's going to break the game
Yep.
open and give their team that look at it. So yeah, we've diverted, but it's a good tangent to go on. I
Yeah.
think. Next game, Joel.
Next game, speaking of Mackay, Carlton 10 goal winners over the Hawks. I don't think we even talk about this for
Yeah,
too long.
skip it.
I-
Let's go.
No.
in my notes, in my notes, I've got the game written down and just a question mark. What do you say about this?
What
one?
do you say? I've got a stat. Hawthorn at one point in this game were goalless in 4 of their last 5 quarters. I believe it
Yeah.
might have been halftime through this year.
Good Lord.
Which is the first time that's happened since West Coast in 1989. So they're in a bad run of form, Hawthorn, at the moment. And again, they're rebuilding.
This is the thing about the 3 shit teams.
Yeah.
North
Are we including
Hawks.
Carlton?
No, just North Hawks.
North Hawks and
North
Eagles.
Hawks and Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe less so the Eagles, but North and Hawks can turn around and stun people, but then
Yes.
the very next week get obliterated.
Completely obliterated.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
been happening all year, which is
Yep.
it's kind of good. Like you don't want a team to just be shit every week, so it's good that they have some fight. But how do you have that fight?
Oh,
and
the
then,
game was shocking,
and then
yeah.
get absolutely pumped.
But
Yeah,
you're getting
just-
pumped by a team that isn't
The
any
consistency
good
will
either.
come, I think. They're on the right track, and this result.
Well, the kids were
is
good. Look at
fine.
Ward. He was best on ground for the
He
Hawks.
was good, Ward. He was very good. Go on. Next game.
Next game, so this was the scoreline looks shit.
Yep. GWS
GWS,
in Melbourne.
2 points.
In bloody Alice Springs.
And it was raining.
Absolutely
Well, they're not going to
pissing
sell
down.
a home game again, are
Tropical.
Yeah, a tropical game of football.
they? 5 goals, 15.
Yeah, just
And
just
an injured
woeful.
Bailey Fritsch.
And an injured Bailey Fritsch. But honestly, I think an injured Bailey Fritsch will help their forward structure at the minute because they have
I
been
don't.
lacking.
He
they
was
have
the only
been-
one that was doing much.
the Demons have been lacking forward of centre all year to me.
Big time.
Even though they're getting the
Big time.
wins, they, I think, have been too reliant on Bailey Fritsch, and Bailey Fritsch has been too reliant on himself. He's been a little bit selfish, I think, not giving it off when he should be giving it off.
On first crack, I think Kingy mentioned that they're about 14th or 13th in the league for scoring.
Yeah.
So the fact that they are that high up the ladder,
It speaks to their
is-
defence.
Yeah.
It speaks to their Melbourne. Goodwin is a very good defensive coach, and they've got such a good defensive unit out there. And I think that
But they have the weapons to do it, though. This is the thing.
they've got my dad, Big Benny Brown.
Well, he's going to get a run
He's
next week.
now going to get a run now that
We've
Bailey
also got
Fritsch is injured.
Van Ruyen. who
Van
kicked 4
Rooyen's
goals
very good. Van
in the
Rooyen is a
twos,
really
yeah.
good mobile key forward that's on the up. I think now it's going to give them the kick up the arse they need forward of centre, and they're going to get some different forward sixes in the looks that they
And they
get.
won every stat, Melbourne.
Yeah, and they lost the game. GWS were awesome.
They tend to do that, Melbourne. In the losses, they tend to win every stat.
Yeah,
And
but
you
they
know-
really won every stat.
You know who they really fucking missed? Clayton Oliver. You put Clayton Oliver in this torrential
apparently he might not
show
even
of
be
a
back
game.
this week.
He might not. He might not. This injury might be worse than first thought. He got infected. All these things happened and what have you. But you put Clayton Oliver in this game, I think Melbourne win by 30 points. Legitimately, I think Melbourne win by 30 points.
Well, they win it at least.
He is down and dirty in there in the contest. He will get you meters gained, and that's what you need in the wet. And he's really missed. He's sorely missed. And let's finish off the round, Joel.
Eagles St Kilda.
Eagles St Kilda. Well, I was at this game. Unbelievable game of football.
Saints
I
by
was
8
stunned.
points.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was there with Nadia, and I kept trying to pump her up before the game, going, imagine if they win. Imagine if they win. She's going, stop it. It's no, don't pump her up like that.
Yeah.
I'm just going
See, I
because
was
I'm
very
supporting the
similar
team.
when mates were like, "Oh, imagine if the Eagles won." I'm like, "That's so St Kilda. Shut the fuck up."
It is. That was my logic as well. It's like, well, if any team's going to bottle it,
It was
It'd
us.
be Saints or Essington.
it'd be Saints or Essington.
No, it
And
would be us. Yeah, and look,
and
we almost did.
My
It was
God,
pathetic.
it's the best the Eagles have played all year, 100%.
And it was
Without
the
a
worst we
doubt.
played.
Worst St Kilda have played. I thought
It was embarrassing.
Barras was incredible.
He was huge.
Everywhere. Every
Shuey was incredible, and I don't know if you know
Shuey's
this.
it's the best game he's
Did you
played all
see
year
when
as
he
well.
got pulled off? And we all thought in our area he's been
Yeah, he's
knocked in the
done.
head.
Yeah.
He was looking the other way. He was looking
Yes,
around like he
yes.
was dazed and confused, and then he came back on.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know what happened. And also, the goal from Noah Long, I think, in the second quarter, I
Yeah,
was
that was
like
impressive.
right behind it on the top tier. And it was quite a high kick as well, on the
Yeah.
boundary, 45 out. And we had a really good angle of it from our seats.
It was right in front of me as well.
It
and
was
wasn't too stoked with that.
Fucking beautiful kick. Really good kick of the football. Eagles, all of a sudden, were playing with confidence. They were moving the footy well. They were
Yeah,
taking
the movement of the ball was what
They were
stunned
taking
me.
the game on.
We were
Like, yes,
terrible.
they were still making mistakes.
Yep.
But like they weren't retreating into their shells after those mistakes. They were like, okay, that's fine. Everybody get back. We'll attack again when we get the football again. It was awesome to watch.
There was so many players out there for the Saints that were just passengers.
Yeah.
The only ones that were doing much were Crouch. He had 17 tackles.
Crouch was amazing. Crouch was amazing.
Marshall, but he wasn't really playing. a
Machado
ruckman.
had a a really good game.
4 goals for him.
Yep.
So-
he was huge.
And that first one, the first 10 seconds, I sat back and went, how good's footy?
Yeah.
What a dumb fucking
And
line
then,
that was.
hello, darkness, my old friend. Oh, dear.
I was really worried.
Yeah, but they got it done, and I think it's actually a credit to Ross the boss for whatever
Ross was going to tear up their
whatever
like,
spray.
home passes.
What I
Come on,
would
made him
give to
walk.
be a fly on the wall in that dressing room at halftime.
he
after
reckoned
them.
he didn't blow up. Bullshit.
Well, I watched,
Bullshit,
I
he
watched,
didn't
a,
blow up,
I
Ross.
watched a bit of the
Bullshit.
presser, and they asked him about what he said at halftime. And the line that he said was something.
I was a disappointed
something
father.
along the lines of, are we just going to throw away the last 9 months of effort? Are we?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
just going to do all that work for 9 months, and then what? And it sounded
But I
like the
think
disappointment treatment.
I think he would have said it, like with a lot more venom.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, is that fucking it, boy? Is that fucking
Exactly.
Is this what we're doing?
Oh, he
is
was
this what we're doing,
eyeballing
lad?
then
players
just
like,
walked
you're not
off.
here next year.
Just looking. Did Tim Membry play?
No, he's injured.
No, who was in the forward line for St Kilda that played a shit
King.
game?
Max King.
Look at Max King dead in the eye and just going, is that how you fucking serve me up, Max? Is that what you're going to fucking serve me up?
Machado was the only one that could be proud.
Machado? Everyone look at Machado. Everyone look at
He
me.
is his favourite. He loves that
Oh,
boy.
you can't not love Machado.
Yeah,
We'll get on the Rising Star
King was
talk later in
particularly
the pod.
bad, although he did kick one pretty amazing goal.
That goal was good.
Yeah,
That goal was
I think
good.
that was more accidental than
So
anything.
I think now is a good time to transition into the MVP voting, the BTH Most Valuable Player Award, and we are getting to the pointy end of the season. Nick Dacos is at the top of the table. Is anyone going to catch him? Perhaps Zach Butters, perhaps someone else, perhaps Jeremy Finlayson. We don't know. I'll go with my votes first, lads. The top 5 for one vote. I've got to fucking turn my page over. For one vote.
I thought you were getting ready to write your MVP. Just saying glory.
I forgot that I had 4 pages of notes. One vote. I am going with Brian Myers.
Graham.
In
I
a
like it.
game that lacked any sort of polish or poise front of centre, and it was a dog shit game, very inaccurate, very poor kicking. Brian Myers, at the crucial moments, provided that for Geelong. He finished with 27 disposals, 1 goal and 3 goal assists on 431 metres gained. Without Brian, their forward line doesn't function in that game.
Beautiful.
Like, they did not have accurate kicking. 2 votes, Josh Kelly.
Aha.
And I wanted to give him more, but it's, it is what it is. 26 disposals, 2 goals, and the match winner, workhorse. He's been a workhorse for GWS for a long time now. Gun midfielder. 3 votes, Nick Dacos.
Tricky Nicky.
36 disposals, 1 goal,
You gave him 3.
10 tackles. Yeah, I wanted to give him...
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to give him none because I want the count to stay interesting, but I can't
that's
not...
where I'm at.
I can't not give him votes for this performance.
He was
was
too
amazing.
amazing.
He's the best player in the competition.
Without a doubt.
He is the best player in the
The
competition.
Brownlow, though, will be very
There's
close.
a fair bit of daylight between
I
him and
still
number
think
2.
at
Oh,
this
there
stage,
is, but at the same time, the Brownlow, I
at
think...
this stage, I think he will
it's
win.
close.
I think he's going to comfortably win it.
Yeah.
At this stage,
I don't think comfortably, but I think he wins it, yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I don't want to give him these votes. I want the count to be, who's going to win it? No, it's fucking Nick. He's going to do it. 4 votes, Tom Barras. He was a one-man backline, 20 disposals.
He really was the one man.
20 disposals for a key tall defender, 14 marks, 9 interceptions, 4 score involvements, 9 spoils,
Yeah, the spoils were incredible.
and at 80% disposal efficiency.
There was some.
He was
there was
incredible.
There were some balls that were coming in, and there'd be a Saints guy, just no one else on camera.
He would be out of
And
frame.
he'd be like, the ball would be coming down, and right before it hit him, Barras would just come in horizontal
It
over
looked
the top.
even more impressive in the flesh. Watching it in the live game, I'm like, oh, geez. The ball would be coming in. I'm like, fuck, he's got to run
my
here.
arsehole was
got to run.
tight.
He's got to run to get to this spoil here. And the man just launches
Yeah,
himself.
it was wild.
It was amazing.
Just over and over
It was
again.
amazing. He would have gotten 5 votes if
If they
not
won.
for Dan Houston. Dan Houston
Yeah.
gets 5. Goal after the siren, 30 plus disposals.
Hey, he got the team 4 points.
He got the 4 points, and he was. If Dan Houston doesn't make the All Australian team, the selectors
He's
are on
having
the
a good
piss.
year.
He's amazing.
Well, they're always on the piss, but
They are always on the piss. But there's my votes. Joel, how about yours next, mate?
Alrighty, so 1 vote, Matt Crouch. Or Brad Crouch. No, it is Brad Crouch.
You got your own crouch wrong.
Hey, they look
You
the
got
same.
your own crouch on your own team wrong.
They look the same.
How good's Ben King for the Saints, Joel? How good is he?
So,
I knew you'd give Saints votes as well.
Hey,
I
look,
fucking knew you would. In a
sorry.
game where you nearly lose to the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah.
did you not just say 5 minutes earlier he was...
If you don't give Barras a vote, I'm going to be a salty man. Go through your top 5. Go through your top 5.
I'm justifying my Brad Crouch.
Yeah, go
17 tackles and 26 touches.
Yeah, great.
2 votes, Houston.
Yeah, only 2. Oh, goodness me. Oh.
3 votes, Sarong.
Yeah,
In a game they
okay.
lost, he really stood up. 38 touches.
Yep.
It was just unfortunate that the rest of the team couldn't stand up with him.
Yep.
4 votes, Viney.
Yeah, he got like 41, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was huge.
about the only player doing, really good stuff.
Yes.
5 votes, Nicky Dacos.
Wow. All right. Well,
He was the best player this round.
You were, you're probably correct. Yeah, he was the best player this round. And
All right.
another 5 voted for Nicky Dacos. You pull Monty's up while we get Corey's, Joel.
I'll
Yes?
shoot mine down. 1 vote, Josh Kelly.
Yeah, okay.
2 votes, Will Ashcroft.
Yeah.
And
yes.
that's mostly... he did have decent stats, but that's mostly because of one single play.
Yeah, go on.
And similar to the goal of the year contender,
Yes.
you actually have to watch it in slow motion
Yes.
to understand how good it is. His body is on a 45-degree angle. He's in a pack of 3 guys. He scoops up the ball, half turns his head to look, and fires off a handball, all in the space of bang. Just
That's the
scoops
good
it up,
stuff.
looks, bang.
That's
and
the
and
good
it's
stuff.
Perfect,
Yep.
perfect handball
Yep.
out of the middle. Love it.
Love
for
it,
2
love
votes.
it, love it.
3 votes, Luke Shuey.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Fantastic.
He was.
Considering we thought it was concussed.
Fantastic. 4 votes, Tricky Nicky Dacos. And 5 votes, Dan Houston.
Done. None for Barras. I can't
No,
believe.
I couldn't pick two from the Eagles. I had to pick one.
Okay,
And I thought
Shuey was very good.
literally
He was.
ran himself into the fucking ground.
Yeah, I thought he was his hamstring was gonna fall off the bone.
It will
Shout
next
out
game.
Luke Shuey.
Knowing the
You
Eagles,
were
his hamstring would have snapped. It would have flown off of his bone and
amazing
hit
to watch.
someone
And
else
then
in
hit
the
someone
eye.
else and concuss them. And then someone else trips on the concussed bloke and breaks their leg.
Well, that was the wild thing about the Eagles game. We got towards halftime. I was watching it with my old man. I looked at him and
No
said,
one's injured.
"There's no injuries yet."
No, they all happened
crazy.
before the game.
And who was Monty's votes, Joel?
Monty, so 1 vote to Tom Barras.
Yes, very good.
2 votes to Jamara Ugle-Hagan.
Yeah, I wanted to give Jamara votes. He's in the honourable mentions for me.
3 votes to Connor Rosie.
Yep,
4 votes to Dan Houston.
yep,
And 5 votes to Josh Kelly.
yep. Honestly,
Now-
He's picked Kelly over Dan Houston.
No, wait.
Yeah,
We've got
Kelly-
a disclaimer here as well from him, which probably relates to Dacos. I've decided not to give votes in blowouts when teams don't fucking compete. I'm
Yeah.
sick of it.
Yep. Still Nick Dacos.
Interesting. Still interesting
will-
why he hasn't picked Houston
I
over
will,
Kelly.
I will respond to that with lol Nick Dacos get fucked. That is my response to that. Now we go into after the MVP voting, and how about next week we get an update on the standings after the votes, Corey?
No, to be
do that.
honest, we will do that, but since last time, not
not
a
much
lot
has changed.
at the top.
Not much has
There's
changed.
a lot of movement
But
through the
we
middle.
can go through mid-table. That's
Yep.
where it's interesting.
Yep.
That's where it's interesting. But now we are going into the inaugural flagship segment of the Barely Touched Him podcast. It is Adopt Your Boy. Oh. Now, only one of our boys played AFL football yet again this week, so we'll kick it off with Corey and Sammy Flanders.
Sammy.
How did your beautiful son go, Corey?
Good. He was the second best player, well, in terms of disposals alone. He was
Yep.
the second on the table behind, what was that? Was it Anderson?
Behind Anderson, yeah.
He hit 27. 27
Beautiful
disposals.
game,
No,
yes.
no scoring shots.
Had a
but
behind.
he was involved.
Yes.
a lot.
Oh, he was in the thick of it.
He was in there.
He was in the
And I
thick
think,
of it.
look, he's playing better now than he was before that big stint in the
Yeah.
VFL. So
Yes.
perhaps it was good.
Well, it can be character building going
Yeah.
back to the twos
Yeah.
and then
Well,
chopping
if
up
you
in
look
the
at
twos.
if you look at Liam Henry,
yeah,
same deal.
for sure.
Well,
for
he's out
sure.
of contract.
Well, you look at what happened with Chris Mayne at Collingwood. Like he got signed and then couldn't make the first team. And then built his way up through the VFL, completely changed who he was as a player to become like that halfback, like hard nut that he was.
I remember at the time thinking it was the stupidest thing ever because they
Yeah.
got him on $800,000 a year.
Well, now like
And
Sam
he couldn't make the
Flanders,
team.
Sam Flanders has changed his role because he was a forward, wasn't he? Like he used to be a
Yes,
forward
I believe so,
before
yeah.
for the Suns.
Yep.
Before this stint in the twos, he's a bona fide midfielder now. Like with the ball that he's racking
100%.
up, your boy is in the guts. Like
he
I
is.
think the midfield for the Suns, I mean, until Took Miller comes back, it is Raul, Anderson, and your boy Sammy Flanders.
Sammy Flanders.
It's Sammy Flanders. Joel, how did your boy go in the VFL? Joe Richards.
My boy went well.
Yes,
Really
yes.
well. Probably his best game. So he had 17 touches, 2 goals, 5 inside 50s, and 8 marks.
You little ripper.
We
Not
love it.
bad, Joey.
That is not bad at all.
Well, it was better than Ginnivan.
Yeah, look.
So
Jitty's struggling a little bit.
what I'm saying is, as far as small forwards go, he had a really good
it's a
fucking
good
game.
stat line for a small
They
forward.
were playing
It's-
Frankston,
Yeah, Frankston.
So they-
are Frankston like bottom of the table?
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
shit,
I
yeah.
think they are. Yeah.
so they really did a number on him.
I've never been to Frankston, but I'm told it's a hole.
It is a hole.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
confirm.
But hey, great game.
Great, well done, Joey. We are very proud of you. My boy, Paddy Parnell, shouts out. Matty Nix, what are you doing not picking him? Matty, please pick
Have
Paddy.
you messaged him yet? As in the coach?
Not yet, no.
should.
I'm
Should do
really having to restrain myself, Joel. But it was a 9-point loss in the Resi's team. The Crows lost to the North Adelaide Roosters. 23 disposals Paddy had, however, off of halfback. 8 marks, 4 tackles.
Good.
2 inside 50s, and 3 rebound 50s. So he's doing his job.
Now, in the stat sheet, do they provide any information as to if he's gotten any larger as a person?
I don't believe they do,
Okay.
apart from the height and weight listed before the game,
Okay.
which I didn't check.
Okay.
So maybe he's grown 5 centimetres.
Could be.
I'm not sure. I believe Paddy sits at about 176 centimetres thereabouts.
Good.
He's very small,
He's a small fella.
but so is Caleb Daniel. And Caleb
True.
Daniel is a gun. Caleb Daniel is, you're never going to drop Caleb Daniel. So what I'm saying is,
Interesting
Paddy,
comparison.
get yourself a helmet and, stand out a bit more in visual ways. And now we will go to our supplementary extension of this
How's your
segment.
dad?
How's your dad? Who's your
How's
daddy?
your dad? That rolls
Corey.
off so
So-
well.
How's your dad?
Ryan Lester, incredible.
He played well, didn't he?
14 disposals, which watching it, I thought it was way more.
He was involved.
He was involved.
He was
very
very
important
involved.
through the middle.
He got a shout out on first crack as well. David Kingy shouted him out. I was watching it going like the Leo DiCaprio game, like, Ryan Lester.
Look, he's doing good. And now
Yeah.
I actually know what he looks like reliably. Because before, I couldn't pick him out.
Even after looking at him in that game, it's like a mirage. I forget
Yeah.
what he looks like
He's
immediately
very
after he
average
leaves the frame.
looking.
He looks like every other bloke in the
does.
world. Like he could be anybody. He's like, I'm forgetting what fantasy series this is.
In this world of ugly footballers and footballers with funny haircuts and footballers with moustaches,
Yeah,
Ryan Lester is an everyman.
He's an everyman.
It's
He is an
very hard to
everyman
pick him
for sure. There's a series. I forget whether this is Brandon Sanderson or another fantasy writer. No, it's the Wheel of Time.
Oh, Robert Jordan.
There is something called a Grey Man, where they are assassins that work for the Dark One.
Yep.
And they are the reason why they're so hard to spot in a crowd is because you never remember what their features are. They're so painfully average.
good.
They're like 5'10",
Good.
no distinctive
Very-
facial features
It's
whatsoever.
very good for committing crime.
Very good for committing crime.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, my friend got assassinated in this market square. Well, who did it? Oh, I can't remember what he looked like. It was this Ryan Lester guy.
Ryan Lester's got
He's a
14
grey man.
disposals.
He's a grey
He's
man.
walked off that ground and gone and robbed the Commonwealth Bank down the street. And no one's...
And then assassinated somebody.
And the
Yes.
cops will get there. Can you give us a description?
He plays for
don't
Brisbane.
know.
I know.
Can you narrow that down?
Joel, your dad, how did Reece Stanley go?
I thought I went with Segler, but I will.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, no.
Segler.
Monty already went with Stanley.
Oh, okay. No, I'll tell you how Stanley went.
And then you went with Reece. You don't even remember
no,
your
I
own
missed.
father.
I wasn't here, so we didn't get the full
Your own.
treatment.
Yeah, but then we asked you last week, and then you were like, oh, I'll adopt Reece Stanley.
Well, I'll tell you exactly how Reece Stanley went.
He's frantically searching
Can you
on
go
his phone
first?
as we do this. All right, I'll go first. My father, Big Ben Brown, he didn't have a great game, but it was in very tough conditions for the game that Benny Brown likes to play, which is overhead marking. He can do it in the wet, but this was an exceptional kind of wet. Didn't kick a goal. He had 12 disposals, 1 behind, but 5 score involvements. Okay. So, it
Well,
wasn't...
it's not great.
It's not a great game.
When your job is to kick the goals and you haven't
Your
kicked
job
one.
is to kick goals. If you're Benny Brown, you want to be kicking 2 goals in a game. You absolutely want to be kicking 2 goals in a game. But with Bailey Fritsch being out, I would think that he keeps his spot in the team.
Yep.
And they are playing the Saints next
They're
week.
playing the Saints. I think he will... He's a very tall man, Ben Brown.
He is.
I think if he gets stuck on someone like Cal Wilkie, he can outmark him. Even though Cal Wilkie's a very good defender, Ben Brown's got a big wingspan. He's a very big boy. So we'll see how he goes. Please don't drop him. Please, for the love of God. Joel, now that you've Googled your dad because you couldn't remember who he was,
reminding
how
me.
did,
Yeah.
how did your dad go?
So Reece Stanley, 25 hit-outs, 9 disposals.
Yeah, not bad.
He was coming up against Hickey, bit of an average game. But hey, look, the whole game was average as a whole
Hickey,
anyway.
who Corey has gone on record saying, I don't like him.
Well, I
Corey's
don't
like
mind
a
him. I
lot
just
of
think he's
people.
extraordinarily ugly.
You said
Such a
you
prick.
specifically said I just don't like him.
Well.
like 2 weeks ago, you were like, "Oh no, I just don't like him," and I was shocked.
I'm warming.
You're warming to
I'm
him.
warming
You're
to
warming
that
to Tom
ugly
Hickey.
rat head.
Fuck me. Next.
Well, next up, I think we can do this rising star debate that you were very keen on, Joel.
So,
yes.
4 players.
Yeah, so this is
Realistically-
the AFL Rising Star Award. We're going to devote some time to this. And I'm actually glad you brought it up in the group chat.
I have my moments.
You do have your moments.
Very
so
few
now
and far
it's
between,
a
but-
4-horse race. It is Machito Owens, Harry Sheasel, Will Ashcroft, and Jai Amos. It
Yes.
is now, and on the very outer of that, Max McElhaney, but I don't think he's going to be involved. It is now, as far as the bookies are concerned, it's these 4 boys.
And it's very different to previous years where we've gone, like, look at Dacos last year.
Yeah.
No one gave anyone else a 5 voter. Like, it was him.
Yet the AFL,
Perfectly.
on a tangent, the AFL Players Association gave the Best First Year Player Award to Jai Newcomb. What are you on, AFL
Yeah,
players?
that was
Yeah,
odd.
because Dacos was winning enough awards that they were like, oh, we maybe did
Brings
share
the
it around.
integrity of the award into question. AFL Players Union, Patrick Dangerfield, what are you doing there, Joel? Go on. Let's get into this discussion because we both have the exact same screenshot.
We do. Does
up here
Corey
at the
have it as
moment.
well?
So I've got a screenshot here. I don't know if Corey's got it.
I've got notes written down, but I have seen that screenshot.
Yeah,
yes.
it is.
sweet.
It is the screenshot, and it's the key statistical areas that
And
these
it's the
guys.
best way to really look at it
I
in one
think
hit.
in one hit, yes, but also
it is, but it doesn't tell the whole
It
story.
doesn't,
No,
tell,
it doesn't,
it doesn't
and
tell the whole story.
we
'cause
can
each,
make our cases.
Each of these guys are playing different positions. Every
Yes.
one of them. They are distinctly different players in what they're doing for their teams. So Jai Amos,
And you have to remember also that the Rising Star Award isn't voted for in the same way that the Brownlow is.
No.
yeah,
It's whole year round.
It's whole year round. Actually, who is the voting panel on the Rising Star?
No,
Good
they
question.
change every year.
Yeah, it's
the same
similar
way
to
as they
All
do-
Australian.
yeah.
It's similar to All Australian. So if we go through what role each player plays on their team, Jai Amos, genuine key forward.
Yep.
He is a genuine tall, their main target up forward now that Matt Taberner is not
He's
playing.
my pick.
Yeah. Will Ashcroft, inside midfielder. Complete inside midfielder. Will
Yep.
start in the centre bounces and will be in there with Lockie Neal and Dunkley or McCluggage or whoever they roll with.
Contestant beast.
Contested beast. Harry Sheasel, uncontested halfback player.
Yeah.
And a very good one.
No,
a
very good one.
very, very good one. But he's playing the Nick Dacos role. He's playing the Cal Sinclair
And
role.
he's playing it at North, where no one
playing
else
it-
is really in that position to really
Not
contest it.
really, not
so
really.
he's racking
And
up a
then
lot.
you've got Machito Owens, who is like a hybrid key forward, sort of a sort
He
of
is
a player.
listed though as a key forward. All his
He's-
stats go for a key forward.
He's not a
He's
key
starting
forward to
up
me.
forward.
He's not
constantly.
tall enough to be a key forward. He's 6'3". That's not a key forward. That's like the same height as like Tim Membry. Like it's not. Would you call Tim Membry a key forward?
Yeah, I would.
No,
Actually.
you wouldn't. You wouldn't, Joel.
What other option? Where
He
are our
would be
key forwards?
a key forward is like the tallest and heaviest player in your forward line, and
he
he's
was
going
for a
to
while there.
and he's going to be the main guy that the key back lines up on. That's who I determine who a key forward is.
You can have 2 key forwards.
Yeah, you can have 2. Machito Owens isn't one of them at the minute. He's just not.
Who's our 2 key forwards?
You only have one at the minute. You have Max King. That is
So
literally
Machito
it.
is playing the role of a key forward.
He's
Playing the
not-
role.
He's not. You
He's
look
not,
at
though.
you look at what
He is.
you look at what he's actually doing in the games,
With
and he's
champion
not
data.
champion data, dude.
Is Jamie
I-
Elliott a key forward?
No, he's not.
Exactly.
He's not
Five
a key
foot
forward.
two.
I'm trying to think of other guys around like the same height as Machito Owens that you would not consider a key forward.
But have you
Is-
seen his leap?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
he's
not
playing the role.
I'm not saying he's not a good athlete, and he is not good in the air, and he's not doing anything. He is not a key forward. He is a hybrid mid-sized
Well, I wouldn't
forward.
want him playing in the forward line anyway. But
Either way, he's a very good player, and I would not be mad if he got the award. I would not be mad at
Okay.
all. So if we go
So we've
through
cleared
this,
that up.
if we go through the stats, disposals, Harry Sheasel is beating all of these comers on averaging 27 a game. Ashcroft 22.5, Owens 15, and Amos 7.8.
Now, see, this is where these stat lines, they don't really tell you anything, do they?
No, not in this case. No,
No. Well,
not in
because it
this
shows
case.
the different positions these guys are all playing.
Yeah.
Like the next up we've got tackles. Owens is leading on averaging 4 a game.
Well, he's one of the best contestant players after centre bouncers as far as contestant ball goes in the competition at the moment.
Yep. Which is not something a key forward does, which is what the
Means
argument
he's
I'm
a
making.
freak.
Well, like that's the argument I'm making, Joel. Like he's not
He's
a key
moving
forward.
up the ground as a key forward. The
He's
same way
starting
Nicky
at the
did.
bounce and then becoming a
Well,
key
what
forward.
what does a tackle mean? It means that you're leaving your feet as a player, and key forwards and key defenders are designed like their tackle
Exactly.
count.
He's amazing.
That's why I say he's a hybrid, Joel.
Correct.
Hybrid key forward,
Hybrid forward. Next up, we've got the overall marks. Harry Sheasel is winning that stat, but I think a lot of those are uncontested. He's on 5.7.
Followed closely
It
by
could be Jai Miss.
And then it's very even. 3.9 to Machito, 3.6 to Jai Amos, 3.2 to Ashcroft. But again, it's a bastardized version of both uncontested and contested in these stats. Goals per game, Jai Amos is on 2.1, Machito is on 1.4, and then doesn't matter what Sheasel and Ashcroft are on, it's not their job. And then score involvements, Machito 5.1, Amos 4.6, Ashcroft 4.9, and Sheasel 4.9. So that is quite an even stat.
Yeah.
I will ask you boys each.
So
I know what
I'll
you're
hit
going to
you with
say,
this.
Joel. I know you think it's going to be Jai Amos, don't
Well,
you, Corey?
I'm not talking about
If you
Jai
would
Amos
give it- if you would give it
specifically,
to
but I'm saying if you want to look at those stats, you should look at them in the context of the rest of the AFL to get a true
Yes.
Next week
picking.
we might do
of
that.
Well, I can tell you right now.
Go for it,
So,
Corey.
well, for one of them anyway.
Yes.
For accuracy on goal, we know Jai Miss has got 29 goals for the
Yes.
for the season, which is incredible for a 19-year-old.
Yeah, and he's played 14 games, I think.
Yeah.
That is.
So,
yeah.
in terms of the AFL in accuracy, he's third behind Logan McDonald
And Tex Walker.
no, Logan McDonald and Larky, Nick Larky.
Oh, okay.
So-
Wow.
Logan McDonald is most accurate, 30 shots for 22 goals. Jai Miss third, 44 shots for 29.
Yeah.
So he's third in the whole competition, not just young guys. And 29 goals is up there.
And
in
this
terms
is
of,
why I went into this argument when I was doing my research for this, thinking it's going to be Ashcroft or Sheasel. This is who I think should win it.
So-
Well, everyone thought that early. The
But
bookies
the more
shortened them to nothing.
I don't care what the bookies think, but the
No,
more
I'm saying early.
the more I look at what each player is doing respectively for their team,
exactly. So now if
the
you take
more Jai Amos impresses me.
So if you take Ashcroft then and compare him not just to other youngsters, but to people in his team and the entire AFL,
yeah.
he's good, but he's getting outworked by all of the elite guys.
Well, I think you've got to take into account the team Ashcroft is playing on.
It's
one of
stacked.
the best teams in the league.
Yes.
And he's slotted straight into the midfield.
Yep.
And is comfortably holding his spot.
Yes.
Yes, he's
I
not
would
going to
agree.
give you 30 touches a game, but he is still a gun midfielder
Yep.
that is damaging. He's a very,
So
very
my,
damaging
my
player.
argument for all four players would be look at how good they're doing in terms of not each other, but their peers.
Yeah, it's when you're rewarding the rising star, it's about how they're doing in comparison to other rising stars.
But they're also good.
And what they're doing for their team.
They're
They
also
are also
good.
good. And
You
it's
can
so
go
good.
beyond these four. The top
we
10 are
blessed,
amazing.
We're blessed to be watching them all. I think, to me, the most impressive is honestly Jai Amos or
It
Harry.
has to be. He's a 19-year-old
To
key
me,
forward.
it's Amos or Sheasel, because key forward is, for a 19-year-old to be playing the way he is playing,
Yeah.
taking the absolute best defender each week, in the air beating them and averaging 2 goals a game.
Unprecedented.
In a team that is struggling, let's be honest, like Freo are struggling, taking over the role of Matt Taberner and keeping him out of the team, I am more impressed by that. I am way more impressed by that.
And that's where I sit on picking him. I honestly think Ashcroft will win it, but I think Joey Miss is the most impressive.
But then, not to take anything away from Owens, like Owens is having an amazing year.
Absolutely.
And he's very important to the way the Saints line up in the forward line, and he can do so much. But I think that he's sort of benefited from the chaotic nature of St Kilda's forward line this year.
But you could say Amos has benefited on the fact that he is their key forward so young, as in their main number one forward.
Yeah, but also
the
like
fact he
that
has the
doesn't,
ability
that doesn't
to
happen.
do that.
That
Yeah.
has
It's
not.
his
statistically
ability to
happened.
pull it
But
off
they
that
don't
makes
have
it amazing.
a choice at the moment. Who else will do it?
It's. I mean, yeah.
It's not that they
I'm
have
not
a
taking
choice.
anything away
though.
from him.
No,
but
I
you
know,
don't
I know
have
you
a
are,
choice.
but you're missing the point.
But you've
I am
still
getting
got
the
you've
point.
still got to kick the goals and take the marks.
No,
Like,
I'm
you've still-
saying that yes, he's
Exactly.
done well. I'm not doubting that he's an amazing player and will be a
Yes.
freak.
Yes,
But it does help. Imagine if they had a Kennedy or a Franklin in their team. He wouldn't get the same opportunity. No.
but
he has.
He is the Kennedy and Franklin
He
in his
has.
team. That is
Because
the point.
he is literally their best option and
Yes.
their only option.
And I'm saying that I can't remember since Buddy Franklin. I can't remember a player taking to the genuine key forward, number one forward role as quickly as Jai Amos is currently doing. I'm not saying Jai Amos is as good as Buddy Franklin.
No.
Absolutely not. I actually did a little compare of their stats. I'm like, is Jai Amos... let's compare them at the same age. Buddy Franklin blew him out of the water. He was so fucking good at
well,
age
how about
19. He was so good. Yeah, sorry, go on, Joel.
Machedo's Owen stats, it was a few weeks ago when, okay, I'm going to say Champion Data again, we're running their numbers and whatnot.
It's fine, yes.
And his stats were comparable to Buddy's at the same age.
Yeah,
That was the last player that was really doing what Machedo was doing in terms of contestant ball.
Not in
outside
terms
of-
of goals. Not in
And-
terms of goals.
Not in terms of goals, but
Yeah.
what he's doing other than just goals, playing in that position. Because
Yeah.
that's what he's listed as, and that's where he's spending most of his time up forward.
I get that he's listed as a key forward. I have made my arguments known.
He's a key forward.
You're on. Objection sustained.
Well, if he is a key forward, why is he not better at kicking goals than Joey Miss?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because he's doing other stuff too. It's not.
Oh,
just
so he's
about
not a
kicking
key forward
goals.
then?
He's a key forward.
A key forward's role is to kick goals.
He's just under Amos.
He's the
Just.
same. He's the same height as Scott Pendlebury. Would you, if Scott Pendlebury went forward, would you call Scott Pendlebury a key forward?
No.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
It's
You
not
wouldn't.
about height. Height-
Yes, it is.
No, it's
yes, it is.
fucking not.
That is what a
It's
key
the
forward
role
is.
you
are a
play.
key forward because you are tall.
No.
that is how you structure up.
Ben
No,
Brown,
that-
key forward.
Ben Brown, key forward.
But you can
Aaron
put me.
Norton,
You can
key
put me
forward.
at key forward.
What?
You can put me at key forward. I'm just not a very good key forward.
Yeah, and you get dropped. Like,
But what I'm
that's
saying
the
is,
point.
you could put me in the key forward position. You could
Look.
hypothetically.
Let's go
Or 5'2"
into other
and me.
sporting news.
Other sports, yes.
Sporting news.
So I think we'll start with the cricket and Ben Reed. Well, I think we're going to
Oh,
throw to
look,
you.
well, let's just go through what happened in the cricket.
So I've got some notes written down. The
Yeah,
only
go
notes
on.
I have is
Go
fuck
on.
the poms,
yeah, fuck the poms is the gist of it.
and that's me done.
I do hate them. Corey, have you got anything on this test match? You're the cricket aficionado more than me, I think.
So, look,
the
from a-
dismissal.
you can't write the rules and then have people play to the letter of the law by the rules and then turn around and say,
it's not in the spirit of the game. It's
No,
not in the spirit of the game.
Guys, you are missing. Bazball isn't working. They're down 2-0 in the
The
Ashes,
amount of times
and
I
they
have
to do anything.
I have tried to figure out what the fuck Bazball is.
all it is playing T20 in test matches
cricket.
and then
Oh.
losing
What
shitty
if we hit
wickets.
the ball a bit harder?
You
No,
lose-
that's not a
you lose-
strategy.
you lose shit wickets.
well, it is
Yeah.
a strategy. It's not
And-
working.
Yeah.
Either way, let's talk about
in any-
let's talk about the English, boys.
Yes.
Let's talk about the English. This windswept, piss-stained conservative shithole of an island
Fucking
has
hell.
been clinging to relevance since the Beatles broke up in 1970. And here they go again, in the headlines, doing exactly what we expect them to do, having a fucking whinge.
Yep.
They love. What do the English love more than anything
They
in the
love
world?
a whinge.
It's fucking complaining.
Right, they come here and whinge about
They
it.
come here. You got a Clarkson. You got a Butler. They're whinging about
Right.
everything there. Yet they moved over here. They fucking all these racists are worried about regular immigrants. No, it's the British immigrants you got to watch out for.
Holy fuck, he's gone off. eh?
Apparently, the Australian cricket team have compromised the spirit of the game because Bairstow, a wicketkeeper, got stumped. He walked out of his crease faster than Liz Truss walked out of number 10 Downing Street. She was out, and so was this sooky, pasty ginger tosser.
Yes.
That is what I have to say. And on top of the absolute farce we have had in the English media about this dismissal, let me turn my page. We have the MCC members abusing Australian players as they go through the long room. I had to fucking be reminded that the long room exists, this elitist fucking bullshit.
it's pretty
At
wild.
Lords, you have to walk through and be subjected to all these old men. And usually it's a polite clap.
Yeah,
you know?
not this
Not
time.
this day.
Not this time. And the footage was pathetic. These 80-year-old, rich, privileged, reptile-looking pricks in their fucking fancy suits, in their fancy room, abusing Usman Khawaja, who was not involved in the dismissal, not involved in any way. I wonder why
Well,
they
it's
went
worth-
straight to Usman Khawaja. I wonder why.
Well, he does have a certain characteristic that the
I
others
wonder
don't.
why that these old reptilian fucks have gone straight to Uzi. Oh, God,
It must have
I
been
wonder
him.
why. At least we can take comfort as Australians in the fact that living in Australia is better than living in England in every way.
Correct.
You know, their beer is shit. Their weather is shit. Their politicians are somehow more shit than ours. And you know, when we have a bad day, we can go and have a walk at the beach. We'll go to Scarborough. We'll go to Byron Bay. We'll go to whatever our beautiful sandy beaches are and have a walk on the beach and unwind. You can't recommend the same thing to these English people. They can't walk on their beaches or swim in them because they're filled with their own shit. They are filled with their own fecal matter.
Tell the camera, Benry.
Tell the
Tell
camera
them how you
that
feel.
you can't even swim in your own fucking beaches. They are filled with your own human feces. Get stuffed. You're going to lose the ashes. It's done.
They're
Get out
definitely-
of here.
they
you
are
haven't
definitely
been
gonna lose at
relevant
this
in
point.
fucking 50 years. Winston Churchill did a genocide. You're done.
Okay, I would
All
like
right,
to add on
next
at the
up.
end there. For all our English listeners, we still love you.
Oh, I still love, you know, Matty Healy from the 1975 seems like a good
Oh, very,
guy.
very
you know?
cool.
Very cool guy.
Anyone
Yeah.
that listens to us, we
More-
do
I
still
love Paul
you.
McCartney.
The most-
I love him. I
The
love him.
most. Oh, did you see the new interview with Paul McCartney and Conan O'Brien? Very good.
Yeah, no, he's
Get on-
great.
get
No,
onto that.
a big Conan fan.
But on
yeah, Paul
the
McCartney's
Bairstow
great.
dismissal, it's if you look just to the previous innings,
He tried it.
Bairstow tried
He tried
it on
the
Kerry,
exact same
the
thing.
He just
exact same
wasn't as
thing,
good.
and it
And
didn't
he
work.
missed. He
Yeah.
missed the stumps by
So
a fair margin.
for him, and the entire seemingly nation to get behind it as some kind of unfair
The Prime
thing.
Minister's come out.
And some
Rishi
people have
Sunak can
some people have said that
suck me off.
Australia should have
His name.
should have rescinded the call, which is absurd because if they
Yeah, there were genuine people saying Pat Cummins should have
If they-
withdrawn this appeal.
Why?
if that is the thing that you're doing, then England should have rescinded the call when Mitchell Stark clearly caught the fucking ball,
Absolutely correct. Absolutely
and it was
correct.
clear as day that
And
he
also,
did.
there is footage of Brendan McCullum doing the same thing when he was
Yeah.
playing for New Zealand. But, you know, no one talks about that because no one was watching the game
No, but
because
he
it was New
deeply
Zealand playing
regrets
Test
it, he
cricket.
says. He deeply
Hey, sometimes
regrets
I
what
watch
he
New
did.
Zealand.
Hey, now you do. Back when Brendan McCullum was playing, no one was
not so
fucking
much.
watching
Not
New
so
Zealand
much.
play Test
He
cricket.
was a good
much.
player.
No one. That's not what I was saying. I was saying no one gave a shit.
Alrighty.
Any other sporting news,
Got
lads?
heaps.
Yeah, go.
Wimbledon's
go,
on.
We had the we've got Wimbledon.
So
So Venus
Kyrgios is out.
Kyrgios is out. He's
He's
Pulled out
withdrawn with a
injured
wrist
again. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
So
wrist
wrist
this
injury,
time, not the
boys.
knee
What do we
yet.
think?
Well,
Afraid of losing his first match.
Yeah,
Not
I
injured in the
injury.
slightest.
unprepared, and
Wrist
wanted to pull
injury.
out. Yeah,
Okay,
doing a
Okay,
wristy.
we're not going the low hanging fruits.
The low hanging wristy is not going to be taken
But
by this
it's
podcast.
more likely that he either A, can't be fucked, or B, is scared of losing.
They told him not to come back.
Yeah, well,
That's crap.
because of the wearing a red hat.
So, what state is the tournament in at the moment? How
Still
First
at the
round.
very early
first
stages,
round?
yes.
Who
So
do you who do you think's going to win it, Joel?
Probably
you're our
Djokovic.
tennis expert.
I think Djokovic wins it. It'll
Yeah,
come
okay.
down to Djokovic
If
and
it's
Alcaraz.
Alcaraz and Djokovic, you reckon?
Yeah.
If it's
Demonor
not,
did amazing at Queens.
if it's not going to be Alcaraz or Djokovic, who's your roughie? Who's your roughie?
I think Demonor could give it a
Yeah,
decent
okay,
crack. The way he was
nice.
playing
The
before,
Aussie,
it was
yes.
perfect.
Yep. All right. Love
So
it. love it.
Venus Williams was in on a wild card, as we mentioned
Yes.
last week, and it's kind of the talk of the tournament being the early stages, which
Yes.
don't really have much of a defining thing. But this was it. She's 43 years old. Got in on the
Wow.
wild card. She's not ranked in the top 500,
Whoa.
but she did start quite electrically, going up 3 games to zip. Against Alina Svitolina.
Oh, goodness me.
28-year-old, 76th rank.
Yep.
Venus went down. Her foot kind of slipped a little bit, went down and produced the very famous Williams shriek.
Oh yes, yes.
How's it go?
But more like oh god, I was going to say monkey. But
You can't say that.
No, I know. But it sounds like primordial in a way.
I know. Yes, I know what you're trying to say.
In any case,
what he was trying to say was not racially motivated, ladies and gentlemen, in any way.
It was a screech.
In any way.
It's a screech,
Yes,
quite
like a
like
guttural
those
yell.
from
A
the animal
guttural
kingdom.
yell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she hurt her knee.
I would scream like some sort of primate if I did my ankle.
The
as
knee
well.
was already strapped, and she got some attention to it. Tried to come back to the game, but didn't work out. So
That's
she's
a
out.
shame.
But I think the tournament.
At 43, even to be making the tournament is amazing.
Well, she didn't make it.
And
She
I
got
think
given
you're
the wild card.
underestimating who she was playing against. She might have been ranked 70 odd, but this was a former world number 4.
Yeah,
Svitolina
okay.
is an amazing player.
Yeah,
who
no,
just
no.
hasn't been playing for
No,
a while.
I know she's good, but
So to take it to her and go 6-4, 6-4,
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, well
So
played. Very
I think
well played.
the tournament directors got what they wanted out of Venus because it was a massive draw card.
Yeah,
People were
yeah.
flocking
People will
just
watch
to
that
see Venus.
If much more so than the wild card if it was just
It was
random.
even without the injury. It was unlikely that she was going to prevail there.
Well done, Venus. Either
And the
way.
women's draw is obviously quite open as well compared to the men's, where you know.
Who do you think's going to win the ladies, Joel?
Well, you've got to think Swashtek.
Who I don't know who that is.
Can you pronounce that
Good
word?
Iga.
Give it a go.
Is it Swiatek?
Possibly.
She's Polish. She's
Swiatek.
Polish.
And
so
look, she's miles
who's
ahead
to
of
say?
anyone.
Who's to say?
Miles ahead of everyone else.
Yep.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Wimbledon
Ons
as
Jabeur.
it progresses.
She's playing well.
It should
Tunisian.
get a bit more spicy by next week's episode.
Definitely. What other sporting
We
news
had
do you
the
have, Corey?
Austrian F1 at the Red Bull Ring.
Did
Let me guess,
Verstappen win?
Verstappen.
Oh, mate, I'll get to Verstappen because he
Okay.
did something quite remarkable.
Okay. Did he
But
win by heaps?
I'll tell you
Shock
right now he won.
Yeah. Oh.
But
Wow. I
Let's-
can't believe it.
We'll build
oh,
up-
Getting
well.
boring, eh?
No, it's not boring.
No,
it's not
because
boring at all.
To me, Corey, I'm gonna let. I love you telling me about it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit boring to have Verstappen win.
So we'll
every
build up a
time.
bit of a crescendo here.
Okay,
with
go on.
Some other
All right.
things in the race.
Yeah.
The pastry chef
Oscar
looked
Piastri, yes.
phenomenal. So he did finish in
Pastry chef.
16th, which is not great, no points.
Yep.
But the track work he was doing, he made some incredible moves on guys like Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Ocon. I think he even had a little tussle with Leclerc. These are like the best guys
Yep.
in the sport.
And he was
he's-
overtaking him.
yeah, at some points, yes. In a very shit car. So Lando Norris, his teammate, got some car upgrades this week.
Yep.
But they didn't have enough ready to give them to Piastri. So he'll have those upgrades next week.
Yep.
And he's
This
building.
is so wild to me.
He is
that-
building a lot of respect from guys in the grid. From all these
Yeah.
new young comers, a lot of them have been very disappointing. Nick DeVries, Logan Sargent, especially.
Yeah.
Pastry chef, he's building the respect.
They're
You
thinking
get him
this,
you get him in a gun
Aussie
of a car.
bloke, He's,
You get him in a gun of a car, he's going to be in it.
Okay. Do you
So-
reckon he'll be with the same team next year, or is he
he'll,
going
he'll be with McLaren for
Okay,
quite
so
some
are
time, yeah.
McLaren going to give him the tools to succeed?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
They'll
all
be
right.
getting better. They've just struggled the last year and a half trying to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that when we get to 2026, it gets reset for everybody. The regs
okay.
are changing. The cars are going to be completely different. So we'll see what he can do until 26. And then we'll
Maybe
we'll
he can
really
work his
see.
way to like top 10 sort of territory.
But let
maybe.
me tell you. So this race was very interesting. Qualifying was and the sprint shootout were unbelievable because it was a little bit rainy, a little bit drizzly, which produces some interesting tactics
We
for
like a bit
tyres.
of moisture.
So the race was quite dry, but everyone came out on hards or even intermediates. And Max Verstappen obviously shot ahead. He
Yep.
shot ahead. There was a lot of interesting things happening in the middle of
Can I ask
the
a
order.
question? Is it, like, as someone who doesn't watch as much as you, obviously,
I don't
is
watch
he-
any. It's fine.
is he that incredible as a driver, or is it also
Very
the
good.
car?
He's very good. It's hard to say how much is the car, but the closest comparison is Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull 10 years ago. He had an absolutely scintillating run, especially the back half of the I can't remember what
So
year it was.
is this current season that Verstappen is putting together the most dominant in
Ever?
Like
No.
ever?
No.
Who's the most dominant ever?
Oh, you'd have to go back to some more old school stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Lewis Hamilton for a couple of years there would have been
Yeah,
more
okay.
dominant.
Just
in
first
the
every
the
race,
W19, the
Yeah.
Mercedes car in that
Yeah.
era was beyond a missile. It was
Yeah,
a
okay.
rocket ship.
Alright. Yeah.
But in any case, a lot of good action on the track. But he shot ahead Verstappen, and in a race, there's one extra point on offer for whoever gets the fastest lap.
Yeah,
And it's
okay,
usually
yeah.
completely random. Like sometimes the 8th guy
Yeah.
will just get it.
Yep.
But
And they're not even trying to
Max
get it
Verstappen
there, yeah.
was winning by about 30 odd seconds, and a pit stop costs you 19 seconds at this
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
He pitted on the second last lap, and he tried to do this last week or last race as well. And his team is saying, "No, back it off, Max, back it off." He said, "Nah, coming in, put on the softs." And on this track, the softs only last for three laps.
Whoa.
So he put on
And
the
he
softs.
wanted the fastest lap.
He came out 4 seconds ahead of Leclerc, and instantly was away. Like it was like Leclerc was going backwards. He used the lap to warm up the tires, and then set the fastest lap of the race on,
Oh
the, on
my
the last lap.
god!
So he's just
Okay.
showing off.
He's absolutely showing
What a
off.
what a mad dog! Oh Jesus Christ!
He is treating the F1 as a video game at this point. It is
Good on him.
insane.
All right, okay, you're right. That is impressive.
So
That is very impressive.
It was very good. And in other motorsport, this one is actually fucking psycho.
Yeah, go on.
Is this the Shane Van
Shane Van
Gisbergen?
Gisbergen, who is the V8 Supercars dual or triple champion.
Yeah,
Was he
He-
Kiwi or Aussie?
He's Kiwi, but yeah.
we'll
claim
we'll
him.
claim him.
He's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like Russell Crowe and Crowded House.
yeah.
He's from here.
Hey, fuck off, they are Australians.
So
Absolutely.
it was the Chicago street race in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Van Gisbergen made his debut. Never raced NASCAR before.
Oh, I love it when an Aussie goes over there because
And-
Marcus Ambrose went over
he
there
had
as
some
well, didn't he? Yes.
mild successes.
Yeah.
But Van Gisbergen's gone over there and fucking won his debut race.
Get out of here!
He has
oh,
won it.
Yes.
And he started from down back 22nd
Holy
or
shit.
23rd.
So when you say NASCAR street race, are they still just turning left, or is
No.
this an actual
He's
track?
making a left
It's a track,
He's
but
making
it
a
looks,
left turn.
it looks a bit different to a track. What
So
you might be
it's not
thinking. There's not
Talladega
many.
Nights,
There's
like,
not
yeah.
many turns.
I can't do that.
And the
That's
track is
boring as
very
that shit.
wide.
Yeah, okay.
But the NASCAR is actually in a new era, similar to V8s. V8s have just
Okay.
entered what we are calling Gen 3.
I would like to start watching V8s.
Well,
I would like to start watching
What
it.
people don't realize is V8 Supercars is one of the most respected motor racing series on the planet.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It is extraordinarily technical and extraordinarily hard to do well in.
Yeah.
Because the cars are very, very hard to handle compared to most of the racing series where the
Yeah.
cars are on rails.
I just
Yeah,
can't get
yeah,
around
yeah.
watching it.
So
eh?
Van Gisbergen winning on debut.
That's amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal.
That is
For
amazing.
our
he's-
adopted Aussie, we
Yeah,
love it.
Van
He-
Gisbergen.
Now, he's made it pretty clear how unhappy he is with Gen 3 of Supercars, which is happening right now. And he's contracted till the end of next year.
What doesn't he like about it?
A lot of people aren't liking them. The feel is different. The way that the power gets put down is different.
He don't like change.
It's odd. Whether they flesh it out a bit more and make it better, who knows? But he's
Okay.
not strictly happy. He's contracted till next year, but that's a big question mark. He could just fuck off next year because
Wow.
every racing series that guy has entered,
Well,
he
now
wins.
he's put himself on the map in America, and now
He's
people
won,
know who
he's
he
won
is.
rally championships. He's won endurance races. Now he's gone to America and won his debut race
Holy
What
in
does he
NASCAR.
have left then? So he's done those.
to
What other
keep getting
sports?
big in America.
Well, you'd stick with NASCAR and get paid
Yeah.
$100 million a year.
yeah.
That's what you do. Oh, fuck yeah.
Slingshot engaged.
NASCAR is the most profitable sport in America.
Okay.
Get fucked.
It
No
is-
way.
It is massive.
No
It is
way. More than the NFL.
Way more.
Get
way more.
fucked. I don't
It is
believe
massive.
that. I don't.
Mate, you have a race and 300,000 people show up and it goes for days.
Like, it doesn't make
The
more
economy-
revenue
it does.
and profit than the
It does.
NFL or the
Have you
NBA.
seen how
100%.
much those Americans
The,
drink?
the NHL makes more than the NFL.
Get fucked.
Yes,
no
it does.
way.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
No, I did not know this.
I'll pull up a graph for next week and show
Holy
you.
shit, you're changing my world right now.
NASCAR, people don't realize how big NASCAR is.
I gotta start watching NASCAR.
It is massive. And NASCAR is not just big in America. It's huge globally.
God damn, that is
A
impressive.
lot of F1 drivers build their career up to race F1, and then when they're done, they go to NASCAR.
All right, so
Jenson Button
even
is
though
currently racing NASCAR.
even though I'm very aroused by this motorsport discussion because it is arousing.
And can we not arouse him too much? He just got his license.
I've got another sporting news.
Oh,
thing
and a guy
here.
died as well.
In what?
In Formula Regional, a 19-year-old
okay.
fella at Spa.
Well, I found out about the Isle of Man TT not too long ago.
Oh, that shit's crazy.
Cunts die in that all the time.
Every year, at least
this?
two.
The Isle of Man TT is a motorcycle race.
It's a
it's a time trial. It's a time trial.
semi-amateur, semi-pro motorcycle race on the
Where
Isle of Man.
guys just get on a motorbike and go 350 kilometres an hour.
on streets
On
with short stone
residential
walls,
streets.
and if you come off, you slide into a stone wall and die.
Yeah, and people die literally every year.
Yeah, the bikes
And-
get airborne. There's heaps of points where the bike just goes clear off the ground.
Well, that's getting Googled tonight.
Yeah, it's
There's
absolutely.
a very good
You look
documentary.
at footage of guys come past in the Isle of Man TT, and it's like a guy filming on an iPhone, and it just.
There's a-
How's it go?
On the and on the you know, the Premier League season is over, the Champions League season is over. Man City won the treble, but it is now the transfer period in international football in the gap between all of the leagues, and the Saudis, much like they have with Live Golf, have done a
Put the wallet on the
absolute
table.
takeover of marquee, not only Premier League, but all the European League players.
Yeah.
There are so many marquee players that are now gone to the Saudi leagues. Like I go for Chelsea. There has literally been like 6 blokes at Chelsea that have been targeted and lured over to the Saudi league. Kalidou Koulibaly, N'Golo Kante, who played for Leicester and Chelsea as a gun central defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Edouard Mendy, our goalkeeper. So many Premier League guys are getting lured over by the Saudi league. I think I'm going to have to pick a Saudi team to go for. I'm going to have to start
the
watching
interesting
these
thing
games.
about this, not just for
They're gonna
football,
buy the
but
world
for
soon.
They're going to do it.
They'll buy
not
Australia.
not just for football, but for all sports, is the morality question that comes up. Like, should you take the money?
I would.
But the thing is, of course you would.
Absolutely.
Like, would you like $17
get
billion?
the bag, King. Get the bag.
Yeah, I do. I'll go play 10 games across 6 months and get paid $18 billion.
100%.
I don't
This is
care where the
why
money
we
comes
need to lobby the Saudi government to set up an Australian football league in Saudi Arabia.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
Just get us in the room.
Headlined by Gary Ablett Jr.
For the Riyadh Chargers, like Gary Ablett Jr. wearing the number 9,
the Coca-Cola Riyadh
and just
Chargers.
getting 60 touches a game, just fucking charging it. They've got Brendan Favola in the goal square. Just amazing. Anyway,
I'd watch it.
that might be the end of us.
I
Unless
think we
you've
give
got...
a shout out to a special writer-innerer.
Yes.
That
Oh,
gave
are we
us-
going to do the mailbag?
No, just
No,
the
we do it
one
in the tipping
person-
episode. The mailbag is in
Okay.
the tipping
No, but
episode.
the one person that wrote in to say they're actually putting the podcast on for their Ubers.
Oh, yes. We had Corey,
my friend Morza.
Yes,
Good on you,
Morza.
Morza.
Shout out Morza.
Write
Who's-
in. Give us another write in, and we'll get your questions. Get your
But
questions.
imagine
Absolutely
jumping
right.
in an Uber and barely touched him spam.
That is...
the sultry tones.
Hey, that's what you want. If you're in an Uber right now listening to this,
Chuck it on.
just...
It's a non-zero chance.
don't worry that your driver's on the phone talking to his
And
mate.
to
It's
everyone
okay.
who's
You're in
still
the back.
listening,
We've
thank
got
you.
the dulcet tones. We love you very much, and we appreciate the support. And stay tuned tomorrow for where the tipping episode drops.